y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hi, Tigers. I'm Caleb Clausen.
I'm Thomas McHugh.
And you're watching Black and Red TV.
This just in. We've got some new exclusive breaking news coming at you now.
Who am I here with?
Hudson Schmidt.
Mr. Tryon.
And what classes do you teach?
I teach biology and biomed.
I'm Sophia Novelli.
Mr. Mueller.
Okay. What classes do you teach?
I do physics, chemistry, and computer science principles.
And what are your plans for finals?
My plans for finals is I know for sure I have to come in for honors English, AP World History, and AP Pre-Calc. I'm planning on studying through like review packets and stuff, and mainly using like Quizlet and stuff.
Yeah.
I am planning on biology students. They have time to reassess any standards from units passed in the semester. And biomed can do the same, except for all the kids have to be there for biomed because they're going to prepare for a test in a heart dissection.
Yeah. And what classes do you have to come in for finals?
I have to come in for chemistry for our final. I've come in for all of them, literally all of them: math, AP Lit, and MI.
Okay. And how are you preparing for those classes?
Over Christmas break, I'll be studying all my classes for my finals and just studying my coursework, I guess.
Okay. And what are your plans for finals?
I am planning this year, and the students love it. We are doing finals for most of my classes this year.
Okay.
For 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
They won't have to stay the whole time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Boys and girls have just started off this year's basketball season. Coming at you now, it's Natalie and Bryn.
Who am I here with?
Lexi Maxwell.
I'm Vila Weavers.
Aubrey Noring.
How's your season gone so far?
It's going pretty good. We got our first win last night. It's good to play at home. We play Friday against Winterset at home. So
we're playing really well. We're 3-0 right now. Got a big game against Winterset Friday, and playing overall really winning team.
It's been okay. We are 1-4, but we've played some pretty tough teams this first games, and we got our first win last night.
Rim, what are your expectations for postseason?
I expect to go pretty far. I think we have a good team. I think we have some confidence. I think we'll be pretty good.
We want to make the state tournament again, and we have higher expectations of going eventually to win the state championship.
I think as a team, one of our big goals is to host a regional final. And then we also, of course, want to win and make it to Casey Center this year.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next up, Chloe and Sylvia are teaching us what it means to teach like a champion.
All right, I'm here with Miss Natalie Johnson.
I'm here with Gianna Benetti.
Okay, I'm here with Mr. Braun.
Okay, I'm here with Xander Karnick.
I'm here with Miss Sarah Bozen.
I'm here with Addison Kaltrider.
With Mr. Griebel. You're using STAR in your classroom.
Yes, trying to.
Okay, yeah. Do you feel pushback from students?
I don't feel like I get pushback from students. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know if they think it's kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like I get pushback from students. I think they understand like the relevance of it. I try to like set purpose of like, here's why it's important in our class to be engaged speaker and listeners is how I always try to frame it. I don't think I get pushback from them. I don't know that they always follow it or demonstrate they're doing it. I don't know that it's necessarily them though. I think it's me trying to find the best way to continually remind them and implement it in my class.
Do you feel more engaged in the classroom using STAR? I think so, mostly because teachers this year have been encouraging like making eye contact with the person who's talking if we're in like a class discussion. They're kind of emphasizing more on like kind of using your full body to pay attention to the people around you in class.
Mr. Braun, STAR looks different in your classroom, so what does it actually look like for you?
Well, some of the aspects of STAR are actually really, really easy in my classroom, and some are very challenging. So it's kind of one side or the other. S for sit up is super easy for us because we talk about posture all the time and breath support because as a performance ensemble, you have to be able to breathe. And so sitting up is like that's taught all the way from fifth grade band all the way up. So that one's like pretty much embedded into our program all the way through. As far as the T for tracking, that is usually with a performance group like ours. Most of the tracking happens with me, unless I do cold calls, which I will do, or ask a student a question, and then I definitely want to make sure that the ensemble is like paying attention because there's an important reason for that question. So it doesn't happen as much. It probably should happen more, but I see a relevant spot for that in the band world. As far as active listening, for the A, that's huge for us because we're always listening from the bottom of the band to the top, whether that be for balance purposes or intonation purposes or just to like feel the music and how that works for you. And then the last part, the star, the rephrasing, that's a tad bit trickier in full ensemble. So for rephrasing, I do a lot of that in like their lessons because sometimes I don't quite understand what they're telling me. Like if I ask them a question, they're like blah blah blah, and I'm like and then I'll go, are you trying to say this or that, and or is this exactly what you're saying, or is it this? And then that's kind of where. So that's a tad bit more of a stretch for us in this world, but definitely has a place for it.
So when using STAR, do you feel engaged in the classroom?
Most of the time I do. It kind of depends on the class size and who's in it, but I say I'm engaged most of the time.
Use STAR in your classroom. How do you think that it goes?
I think it works. It's working well, especially with our good news. Like we make sure to give the people who are sharing good news their attention. So that's been really helpful. I don't always use the words of STAR, but we are using those.
So do you feel that STAR is working in your classrooms?
I think it works sometimes, but I think the part that students struggle the most on is tracking and doing the active listening. Otherwise, people just talk a lot.
Can you please tell us what Teach Like a Champ is?
Teach Like a Champion is a teaching philosophy from Doug Lemoff. He's a educational author who has put together a bunch of different wonderfully effective strategies for teachers to use within their classroom. So how do we do procedures and routines? How are we engaging with students? How are we controlling our classrooms so students have the most time focused on academics?
What like verbiage do you use when you're reminding them of this?
So I will usually, instead of saying like track is part of it, usually I'll try to say something like Chloe is speaking. Let's make sure that we're giving like our attention to Chloe as she's speaking. If there's disengaged listeners instead, or let's follow along and listen as Chloe is talking. Sometimes I will say tracking in my literacy lab course because they actually they're like tracking their reading, and like so also that make sure you're keeping track of the person as they are reading something out loud. Sometimes I like to give helpful reminders that are like, let's make sure that we're sitting up nice and tall. Yeah.
So do you like STAR? Do you like using it? Honestly, I feel like it's not too different from how I've been just behaving in class normally, but maybe for some people it's more helpful.
Do you feel any pushback from students with STAR?
No.
No, none at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, I don't. Because most of that, well, like I said, most of the stuff we do is like embedded. And so we work on those routines like right away at the beginning of the year so that they get used to that and comfortable with that. So
do you feel that STAR is working?
Most of the time it does work because it helps students, I guess, feel like they're getting the instructions more often. But most people struggle with it because people learn differently, they pay attention differently, and it's kind of hard to do what the teacher expects of you and not how you want to do it your own way.
Yeah. Do you feel resistance from students?
Not necessarily really for that. I feel like, I don't know, maybe for my students, they're always like looking at me anyway, and like I make sure to correct their behaviors and stuff if they're not doing what they're doing. So
yeah,
I don't feel like it's too different.
So do you feel more engaged when you're using STAR? Or do you like actively use it in your classroom?
I think if the entire class is, then yes, but if it's only one or two people, then I think it doesn't really work, and then it's not very good.
we implemented STAR this year.
Yes.
How do you feel that that is going?
It's going well. I think we still need more practice, and that's going to come as we clarify with staff what terms we're going to use and how we're going to use those terms and what situations call for using STAR and which ones won't use STAR. So it's a work in progress, and it is a change for our staff as well, using vocabulary that they're not necessarily used to. So they're learning the processes and when to engage with STAR and when not to.
How else do you implement STAR in your class other than just reminding them?
So when I first introduced it, we talked through some examples of what that might look like, and I did that, like we did it as like a slideshow and talked through examples of how that looks in my class. And I'm hoping that I can start implementing it more because my American literature class is going to get in a small group discussion. The things that they're demonstrating are STAR, and kind of like putting that gentle reminder of, I'm not the leader of those things now. Like you should be demonstrating that you can do that engaged speaking and listening, but doing it in a small group and then ultimately in a large group discussion because that's what they do for finals too. So that's why I'm trying to do it.
Do you use any other methods other than, I know you mentioned cold calls. Do you use any other methods but STAR from the Teach Like a Champ?
I'm sure there are lots of things. I think the number one thing in our classroom, of course, is that the active listening portion, and then just to have a really solid routine for what the expectations are in the classroom, and then trying to meet those and keep the momentum of every rehearsal going.
Do you use any other methods sort of like STAR or from like the Teach Like a Champ?
Yeah, so probably the biggest one that I use is cold calls, and that's something that I've done for years, just to gauge interest. But I think there's a way to do it so that you're not just surprising kids. And I think if you probably asked any of them, they would be like, "Oh, we just know she'll call on us," so that to be prepared. So,
do you feel that you've been hearing that there's a lot of pushback from students on STAR?
I haven't heard a pushback. Have you heard a pushback?
A little.
Okay.
Not a ton. I think it's going pretty well, but
awesome. Yeah, anytime you implement something, there's always going to be some pushback. I mean, it is more control in a classroom, and with control comes some people that aren't happy with that. But we want to make sure our classrooms are set up so you guys have the best opportunity to learn at the highest levels. Because when you leave ADM, we want you to go out there and kick butt and take names. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Do you, or at your weekly meetings Fridays after school, do you guys talk about STAR every week?
Not every week. So there are some professional development opportunities that we do. So we teach teachers how to use STAR. Other weeks we have different things that we're learning about. So it's not always about STAR.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do use staff meetings as well to cover some of that information as well. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet. Is that it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, next news. It's not local. And it's not state. No, it's national. Meredith, take it away.
Thank you. I'm Meredith Maddie with your national news, and today we'll be briefly unpacking how Americans view the current American economy and President Trump. A recent national poll from a partnership between Reuters and Ipsos indicates that President Trump is currently at a 41% approval, 57% disapproval rate among Americans. While it does seem low, it is an improvement from the last poll from the middle of November of 2025, when he was at only 38% approval and 60% disapproval. Now, to give some background on why these approval rates seem so low. Last year, during President Trump's presidential campaign before being elected for a second term in November, one of the main factors that got him elected was his immense focus on lowering prices. This also helped many other Republican candidates, which ultimately gave the party control of not only the Senate, not only the House of Representatives, but also the White House. Now that he's in office, however, much of the American public, Democrats and Republicans alike, are angry because prices still remain elevated and inflation is incredibly high. The most recent Labor Department report from September shows that the United States inflation has increased by about 3% in the past year alone. In another poll, this one from Fox News, it shows that 3/4 of respondents said they viewed the economy negatively. However, in a recent interview on December 9th, President Trump said that if he had to rate the state of the current American economy, he'd give it an A++++++. In response to this, the Democratic Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis of Pennsylvania made the point that, unfortunately, President Trump refuses to see how millions of Americans are struggling with costs for healthcare, for food, just basic necessities. From all this, it's no secret that Americans, political parties aside, are not content with the state of the current economy or with Trump and what his administration are doing about it. Only time will tell what will happen next. This has been Meredith Maddie with your national news. Thank you.
Did you know that I just did a new arena in Clash Royale?
Wow, that is good news. For more good news, here's Ryan McKinley.
What's your good news?
My good news is that I got a new car recently.
What kind of car?
A 2007 Nissan Altima.
I got inducted into Thespians a few days ago, so that's really cool.
My good news is that there's a choir concert tonight.
I'm not in class right now. We are 2 weeks away from winter break.
All right. Any plans during winter break?
I'm going to Tennessee.
My good news is that I had coffee this morning.
What kind of coffee?
Good coffee.
Fantastic, thank you.
Well, I think this is it. We've reached the end of this month's Black and Red TV, and seemingly this year.
Happy holidays, everyone, and have a wonderful new year.
Hello? Hello? You a lover.
Okay, my turn. Hello, 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 hello. Goodbye.
Hello. I'm like an air traffic controller.
Hello, I'm Ryan. This is my Hawaiian roll. I would rate it probably a 6 or 7 out of 10. Just kidding, it's like a 9.
Oh, shoot.
Hey, what do you think about Star?
I think I need to get B-roll.
Was following me, I was following me, I was following. I can't go lower than TS. I was following me, I was following me, I was following me, I'm dizzy and out of breath. Just say I have bad breath support without saying I have bad breath support.
And then they're always clapping off tempo because they're fucking butts.
Oh yeah. Alright.
Blooper farming is crazy.